the purpose of this evening really is to say thanks. Say thanks in so many ways. I'm not going to be the one saying thanks, but we will say lots of thank yous tonight. But before we do that, I would first of all like an opportunity to just pause and give God thanks. We have so many things to thank Him for, and I'm trusting that by the end of the evening, when we talk among ourselves, we'll be able to give Him thanks for the person that's sitting next to us. All right. So first of all, I'd just like to stand quietly and we will give God thanks. Let's just pray. Our Father in heaven, we just thank you so much for who you are, because you're a good God, you're a gracious God, you're a kind God, you're a loving God. And the mere fact that we can come around this table tonight is a testimony of your faithfulness and your goodness to us. We invite your presence here tonight. We thank you for the opportunity to say thanks to an iconic man, Sir Sidney Poitier, and for family and friends who've come from far just to celebrate with him tonight. We just ask right now that you bless our time together. We ask that you would bless this food that will strengthen our bodies. And more importantly, we thank you for the gift of your Son, Jesus Christ. We ask these things in the name of your Son. Amen. Amen. We served as our ambassador to Japan as well as our ambassador to the United Nations Educational and Scientific and Cultural Organization, UNESCO. I would first of all invite the Honorable Fred Mitchell, Minister of Foreign Affairs and Immigration of Thomas, to bring a brief remarks. Minister Mitchell.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ambassador, Mrs. Poitier, the members of the family, all dear guests and friends, and Bahamian community abroad. In December of 2007, I received a call from our honoree, and I was surprised. I had, after all, lost office in May of 2007. So, having regard to the way life usually works, I didn't think that the relationship would survive the loss of office. I always call him Ambassador. And he asked me whether I would come to Los Angeles to see him sometime, because he wanted to talk to me, and I was again a bit taken aback and surprised. But I agreed right away, and I told him that at the first opportunity I would come and spend some time. I did, and that was in January of 2008. That is the journey which ultimately led to this day. The time spent together in 2008 was remarkable. A tour de force of his history, his views, his life, and confidence building. Most of us who are in this room are Bahamians, and Bahamians of a certain age and generation. I think, therefore, it is not necessary for me to say how large the name Sidney Poitier looms in the imagination and the minds of the generation gathered here tonight, and in the wider Bahamian public. He is iconic. He is by far our best known son, and yet the Bahamian connection is not as widely known as in the world as one may think. This evening's honoree served as ambassador for the Bahamas to Japan from 1997 to 2007. He also served as our ambassador to UNESCO from 2002 to 2007. I was a foreign minister from 2002 to 2007, and so I got to work with him in official trips to Japan and to Washington, D.C. The work during these times merely reinforced the iconic nature of the man. Over time, I've been introduced to his wife and daughters, one of whom, Pamela, lives in their ancestral home in Cat Island, and where she does a wonderful work. Last year, I had the honor of attending the wedding of Sidney, his youngest daughter, here in California. Today, we are joined by his older brother, Reginald, and his niece, Stephanie. Up to last year, I used to represent both of them in the House of Assembly, but the boundary changes unfortunately caused them not in this election to be in my constituency. Reginald Poitier is 92 years old, and I trust that this is a happy moment for him. I first conceived of this idea last year when it looked like we would once again get the chance to govern. I said to the then leader of the opposition, the now Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Perry Christie, that we had to do something from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to say thank you to this iconic man, who, for love of country, gave of his time, reputation, and talents. This small dinner and presentation tonight by our Deputy Prime Minister, Philip Davis, who is also the Member of Parliament for Cat Island, is the fulfillment of that idea born almost a year ago. I'm proud to be able to witness it. Our Prime Minister and the Cabinet support this action here tonight and hope to do more in honor of Sir Sidney in the run-up to the 40th anniversary of our country's independence next year. Forgive me some nostalgia. The nostalgia of my mother on Saturday afternoon sometime early in the 1960s, insisting that my brother and I go to the Capitol Theater in Market Street to see a Sidney Poitier film. And then being taught as an elementary school student to sing Amen, the theme song from Lilies of the Field, the movie which in 1963 made him the first African-American and Bahamian actor to receive an Oscar, and which catapulted him into the stratosphere of stardom. Fast forward to 1973 and Independence Night, and the lights are all down, and a lone figure is walking around the perimeter at Clifford Park, the last man to arrive. As he walked around the grounds, the cheers go up from the crowd. I thought it was a theatrical moment planned by the actor. When I accompanied him as minister to the same site in 2002, he explained to me that on that night he was simply lost and had not been told where to go. So he was simply trying to get to where the platform was and the light. I have been fortunate in my life to have been adopted by so many people, and I cannot know the reason why, but I find myself immeasurably blessed by it all. And I cannot explain, but men like Lyndon Pinley, the founder of our country, Albert Miller, Arthur Hanna, Clement Maynard, Arthur Folks, John Dean, Dawson Conliffe, Loftus Roca, Archdeacon William Thompson. These were all people who were not connected to me in any biological way, save for Arthur Hanna, but who guided me along the way to whatever you see today. And I said to the ambassador yesterday at lunch that he would hear this again, so forgive me. I add to him that group of august men to whom I am grateful, and to whom, and of course, whom I could never repay. They were all nation builders, shapers of the young minds that will shape our country's future. Sidney Poitier has taken the Bahamas with him wherever he went. The books, This Life, Measure of a Man, Life Beyond Measure, all tell the story. These books chronicle a remarkable story of a life that could not have been designed by a novelist. It is a compelling story that caused a judge in an action involving the Disney company to remark after the ambassador's testimony on the witness stand that his was a remarkable story. Remarkable indeed. Some in this generation have asked, what has he done for the Bahamas? And my answer is, he is. That is enough. Even the blind can see. We are proud of this native son, whose roots are strong in Cat Island and in Nassau. You just read the books and you can see how the early years are central to who he is today. I'm very proud of you, sir. Our country is proud of you, and I am proud that we are able to say this simple thank you to you from a grateful nation. I am pleased that our Deputy Prime Minister is able to join us, and as I take my seat, I say thank you from the bottom of my heart and from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for your specific work for us. We are proud of you. We say thank you. May you continue to live well and prosper. I now call upon the Deputy Prime Minister to address us and to present the plaque. But thank you very much indeed, and bless you.
First of all, let me express my appreciation for each of you who here are present, consenting to being here tonight. on this what I call auspicious occasion. It's a great day for the Bahamas, and more particularly Cat Island. My father, who was Uncle Reg's good friend, and if I were permitted some nostalgia, my father was a very proud Cat Island man. Anything Cat Island was an inspiration to the whole Bahamas. There was no other island, there was no other Bahamian than a Cat Islander. And so it was when it was that the Oscar was awarded. I think he was drunk for 1 week. My mother was all around town looking for him. And finally met him, I think, at the High Noon Bar, which Uncle Reg was known about. And then wondering what was happening. Well, I'm celebrating Sidney. That's Reg's little brother. And from then, my relationship with the Poitiers family has always been deep, strong, and in fact, as I've always known him as Uncle Reg. It so happened that Patrick came into my office and told my most able secretary and got married to her. And she's been my personal assistant for the last 30 years, definitely. And so the relationship, so this is particularly a privilege and an honor for me to have Cat Island as represented as the Prime Minister today. And I keep telling people of Cat Island, this is not about me, it's about Cat Island. Because the whole Bahamas, in every stratosphere of endeavor in the Bahamas, you'll find a Cat Island personality holding up that, being the plank, being the pillar, holding up that in the Bahamas, in every stratosphere. And so it is said, Providence sets in because I am now next. When they say next, they wonder what it is. Well, I often tell the story that the two prime ministers since Spindling, we were law partners. Yes, we were law partners from '73, but they never practiced law. And here it is, I'm carrying the firm on my back. Couldn't get rid of them as partners. And so the thought occurred to me that the only way I could have done it is to make each prime minister. I was joking, I was able to do so. But if I may, every Bahamian grows up knowing the Sidney Poitier. Every Bahamian knows the greatness of the man achieved over an extraordinary lifetime. And Americans and Bahamians can agree he is one of a kind. Cat Island is a beautiful, hilly island with rolling hills, clear, warm, tranquil waters. It is known as the cultural mecca of the Bahamian chain of islands. Once visited, the memories are etched indelibly in one's mind. A testimony to that was when I attended, at the instance of the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Fred, the ceremony, I think it was the Kennedy Center, when the Chaplain Lifetime Award was given to Sidney. And I sat in the audience, my heart filled with pride, my eyes full, when I think it was Quincy Jones who, in talking and giving tribute to Sidney, spoke more about his experience in Cat Island, where he, I think Sammy Davis and others who are in Cat Island trying to fish and dive off Arthur's Town. He recounted it so vividly. It gave testimony to the fact that once Cat Island is visited, you cannot forget. The memories stay with you. And so I sat there filled with pride, hearing Quincy Jones, the icon of music, speaking so wonderfully about Cat Island. So when I went on the stage, I said, you have to come back to Cat Island. And he started talking with the ambassador to the Bahamas. He said, I want you to come to Cat Island. But hopefully that trip, he said, he would like to make once again. And whereas he may not be going fishing as he did then, and not because time was taking toll on some of the limbs, I'm sure he will nevertheless enjoy Cat Island once again. I have now the honor to represent Cat Island in our national parliament. His Excellency Sister Sidney, you grew up in Cat Island, working on a farm, fishing and swimming in the clear, calm waters while attending the all-age school. Although you moved to Nassau, the capital of the Bahamas, and then here to the United States, as a Cat Islander, I think that your early years in the small, beautiful place of Cat Island was critical to your greatness. Although the road was often rough and the way never fully clear, you never wavered. You never gave up. You made your way, and in the process gave generations of people born in poverty in many countries, far and wide, a path that they could all follow. Here's the path that you laid out for Bahamians and for many others. Work hard, study, be excellent, and more importantly, be honest and true to yourself. Your remarkable achievements in the motion picture business and in literature are a testament to what can be accomplished by a person brave and principled enough to follow this wise advice. So Sidney has enhanced the cultural life of the two states of the citizenship, the United States of America and the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. So Sidney has joined and is joined by great cultural icons with connections to the Bahamas who have contributed much to both states, such as the composer James Weldon Johnson, journalist, lawyer, scholar, and activist W.E.B. Du Bois, groundbreaking performer Bert Williams, actresses Esther Williams and Roxy Roca, and of course Michael Thompson, an NBA star, and followed by Rick Fox. His Excellency was awarded and knighted by Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth as a citizen of the Bahamas many years ago for his extraordinary service in the Bahamas. As was mentioned by our foreign minister, he served as ambassador to Japan and as ambassador to UNESCO. I don't believe that there is a single person in Japan who doesn't know about the Bahamas because of Sidney's gracious service to the Bahamas as our principal diplomat in that country. Indeed, even when not formally serving as a diplomat, Sir Sidney always takes the Bahamas with him wherever he goes. We could not ask for a more extraordinary ambassador, Mr. Minister. To say that we Bahamians are extremely proud of Sir Sidney is to understate the obvious. We recognize this great man as one of our finest sons. We are grateful that even after he achieved his extraordinary success, he never left us. We are so much better as a nation for his service and for taught so many of us to dream big, to reach for the stars. He was an inspiration to our nation, an inspiration to me, an inspiration to my father to lead me to where I am today. We celebrate you, sir. You are a national treasure. And so to you, with love, on behalf of the Right Honorable Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, Terry Glasson Christie, and the warm people of the Bahamas, and in particular, on behalf of the wonderful people of Cat Island, that I have the great honor to represent in the Bahamian House of Assembly, we are honored to pay tribute to you tonight. May God continue to bless you, and may we continue to inspire not only our nation, but the world. Sidney, let's stand. Sidney, on behalf of the people of the Bahamas, we present to you this token of our appreciation. Small though it may be, remember and recall that you're in the hearts and mind of all of them. Continue to be our inspiration. It's read from the Commonwealth of the Bahamas as Ambassador to Japan and the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, UNESCO, presented this August 21st, 2000.
Oh my goodness sakes. I'll say a couple of words. There's it won't be many words because it's difficult to put a lifetime in a few words. All of my life now 85 years was molded by a woman named Evelyn Alden Poitier, who was married to a man named Reginald James Poitier. There is nothing about me that I did not receive from them. Every bit of such good as you might find in me came through them. They were the poorest people I had ever known. They were semi-literates. They were not well-educated. So I had to learn from their behavior, how they treated each other, how they treated their friends and their neighbors, how they treated their children. Though I could not read and write, I remembered how their lives were unfolding. So this evening is the fruition of all that they carried in themselves that found its way into my mind, into my values, into my sense of myself. I have been a very, very successful actor, but I could only be a successful actor, I believe, because I lived by the values I saw unfolding in them on a day-by-day basis. I honor you, the country, and its citizens. I believe that there was a purpose to it all. I will not try to explain it to you because I can't. But I will tell you that at the foundation of my life are these two people. I have here at this table my wife, my children, my brother. The family is intact. And I am in my elderly years. And if I look back even for a second, I will see Reginald and Evan. That's it. I thank you for this evening. If I can be of service to the country, I certainly will. More is not necessary. Thank you.
Just so that we can become a little bit more familiar with one another, I want to just introduce persons so that we know who you're sitting next to. And please, this is an evening for us to celebrate and to say thank you. So I trust that at the end of the evening you will be able to say, I had a wonderful time celebrating and saying thank you. To my left, we have Mr. John Sally, former Emmy player, Miss Jackie Edwards, Olympian for the Bahamas, Miss Pamela Poitier, daughter of Sidney, of course, Deputy Prime Minister, Mrs. Karen Panasas, wife of Mr. Nicholas Panasas, who was the Honorary Consul for Sierra Leone in the Bahamas. Next to Miss daughter of Sidney, Miss Eureka Clinton from the Ministry of Tourism here in Los Angeles, Mr. Michael Sweetbells Thompson, for being here tonight to make this a very special occasion for Sidney Poitier and for the government of the Bahamas. On behalf of the Deputy Prime Minister, Mr. the Honorable Philip Ray Davis, and the Minister of Foreign Affairs, the Honorable Fred Mitchell, I just want to express my sincerest thanks and appreciation to all of you who are here tonight. Thank you so very much, and have a wonderful evening.
Thank you.